Cool. And we are back now with our good friend Vana. What's up, man? How are you doing?
Up, bro.
Thank you for joining us, man. It's a real pleasure
Thank
to
you
have you here.
for
Yeah, man.
thank you for getting me to install Discord. I needed to do that for a long time. It looks really cool.
Yeah, man. It's really nice. Like if you want to make this kind of like online community and like you can make your own servers and like I'm right now I'm starting to program and I'm learning how to program a robot for Discord for like acoustics and stuff. And so
What do
yeah,
you
this is
mean, program a robot for acoustics?
I mean, it's like it's a bot, and then like I'll ask it like, okay, like I want to make a like a diffuser like that one, right? And then it's going to be like, oh, okay, so what's your prime root and whatever. Like it's gonna like you're gonna input some numbers, and it's gonna give you the map for that, or for like a bass traps, like for how much frequency, like
I
low,
understand.
yeah, or like
Sorry.
I also want to make something like to do with like hertz and milliseconds and like conversion into BPM, like how you can sync in to some BPM, like how to tune your instruments or to turn down your BPM to like sync into those. You know what I mean? So the fundamental
I remember
cycles.
years I remember years ago we used to use like an online delay calculator because the delay I don't think there was like in the beginning there was a proper BPM delay in the DAW. There was just milliseconds.
Oh, really? Oh,
Ages ago.
when I started, it was like all synced up. Like, but I started with Cubase, just Cubase VST or something like that. No,
Yeah.
SX. I started with SX, I think.
SA. Oh my God, yeah.
You probably started before that. When did you start
I
making music?
I well, when I was a young teenager, I had a Amiga and I had a tracker. I had Octomade and I had like this sample module that used to stick in the back,
Oh, fuck.
and there was like 1 or 2 megabytes memory, and that was it. It was
Jeez.
amazing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't make any good music, but was fun. It was super amazing to have a computer that made music.
Yeah.
Was
You
the future.
you played any instruments before that? Before you got into electronics?
I did piano lessons when I was a kid, but I was crap. And I did singing lessons as well, but I'm pretty much tone deaf. So
Well, it doesn't sound like it when you're what you with your tracks. That definitely doesn't sound like a tone deaf person.
you should hear my karaoke.
Well, now living in Japan, you really have to like work on that, eh?
Yeah, I think I need to choose like 3 or 4 tracks uh, to practice in the car, so that when you are in karaoke, you can belt one out with some confidence. But yeah, I haven't actually been to karaoke since we've been living here.
Hell, man, like that's one of the best things to like in Japan is like every corner you get a karaoke, you know?
Mm. Yeah, it's more like a thing to do. It's you can get off the street and you can be with your friends or with someone, and
Yeah.
it's just like a social. I mean, I think yeah, like a party box where you can sit with friends, whether you're singing or not. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I, I I haven't been actually to a karaoke the times that I've been in Japan, which is like shameful. I've been to way too many
You
times.
next time, bro. We're waiting for you here.
I
Come
hope
on.
I hope I can go soon. Yeah, I had a plan to go last year, but then like restrictions and all that stuff.
It's not going to be soon,
No,
honestly. Maybe September. From September, the borders will open. I don't know.
I hope so. But I mean, you can understand like they had like all this investment into the Olympics and they didn't want another huge outbreak to like smash that, no?
Yeah, I mean, from what I read, the Japanese public like it being closed.
Yeah.
Um, the new prime minister has like an approval, some sort of like election or approval some sort of thing in end of July, and I mean August,
Mm.
beginning of August, and the people, the public, definitely want the borders to stay closed. So he's not going to go against them because
Really?
he's, you know, he's a new prime minister. So realistically, I doubt that anything's going to happen
Mm.
till the last 3 months of the year or something. I have no idea.
After the polls are like finished and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I read an article that like residents in Kyoto, which you know is a huge tourist destination, they are not sure that they want the tourists back. But if they've got enough cash to sustain without it, then hell, sure.
Oh, Kyoto, man,
Cool.
like it's a beautiful place. Have you been there like yet? You.
Not for years,
Uh,
but yeah, super beautiful.
yeah, it's really really nice. Yeah, Kyoto. I remember I went with the organizer from Toshi from Sunshine Festival. He took us there.
Toshiaki,
He
yeah.
gave us one of the best tours ever. Like just like 4 days or 5 days or I can't even remember how long. But we went. It felt like 2 weeks because we went from one place to the other. Just like we would just like go to the hotel and sleep like, and wake up and like go again like 5 a.m. to like temple, then a castle. That like was so cool. We even went to this ninja village that is like just outside of it. So funny.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a wonderful tour.
Yeah, no, he's
He
really,
has he has
really.
he has interest in that himself, so it's different, just to go with a tour guide. I mean, to go in a tour and to hear what they're saying. It's different when he's doing it personally for you. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was really really cool. And yeah, he knew like all the cool places. He probably took like really like his only vacation days. He took it for us to go there. Something like that was ridiculous, man. This guy, he's probably the best. The most welcoming host that I've ever had anywhere.
Amazing,
Yeah, he's
amazing.
really cool guy. And so yeah, man. Well, like I see you joined now the Solar Tech Records. What can you tell us about
Yeah,
that?
I have a long relationship with Laugi, the owner and the promoter of. He has a record label and he has a couple of nights and a festival in Germany. And he's been booking me for probably more than 10 years. Maybe it's 15 years. I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah, so I've joined that, and it's nice to be in a community of artists and things. But I'm primarily focused on just once I finish all the tracks that I've got now, which is a stack. I just want to put them out myself.
oh yeah, that's really good. And also, uh, well, I would also like to do that. Like now, I'm thinking of. I've
So
been.
what's stopping you?
Yeah, no, like just need to get the tracks ready and like nice, which like I never do. But it's a matter of commitment, I think, right at this point. But yeah, I think also I'm thinking of too many things. I'm trying to squeeze too many things, and like stuff is like pouring out of my fingers. Um, like the programming is taking a little bit of time and like mental effort. Also, I'm thinking of making an NFT. Like NFTs are a little bit strange, and also I'm not really sure that I really understand them like fully. But I want to make. I've been working on this project with this guy that it has a pressing plant, a vinyl pressing plant. Wait, let me just open the door for my dog. André, Batita. André.
He has a
André.
vinyl pressing plant in Mexico.
Well, he's making a few pressing plants. All
Making new ones. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, he's getting some investments ready, and doing them probably from now until October. He's going to be setting up the first one, I think, in
So
England.
creating a new pressing plant, taking taking equipment from somewhere else, buying it, and then setting up a new plant.
Yeah. He's doing that. Like he's planning to do four, basically. Like that's his first step.
In Mexico.
No, one is in England. He's thinking about Mexico. He's like even asking me, he's like, "Hey man, do you know like if we're gonna have problems with the cartel?" I'm like, "Well, I don't think so, man. They're not into the vinyl business."
If he's planning to make a proper plant, because a lot of the modern releases that I've seen that are like handled by these websites, what are they called? Diggers, and they use a pressing technique which is inferior to a proper created, properly made vinyl, and they don't sound that good. I've heard a few of the recent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially in trance, it doesn't sound good.
I haven't. To be honest, like I do mastering, like this mastering studio, and he's like, if he was telling me, if you don't have experience in doing mastering for vinyl, you need to let the professionals do it because it's better for that medium. And like maybe that's also another problem, that the mastering right now is like it's not quite done for vinyl. And
It's okay once you are there and you are present in the cut, you can hear. You can use your ears and your experience, and you know what it's meant to sound like when it's playing off the vinyl. So
yeah,
you'll do a good job. It's exciting. Wow.
it's
Good luck with that.
super exciting. Yeah, no, I obviously like that's his project, like the pressing plant, but like we want to start pushing out like some vinyls, like NFT vinyls, and
What do you
tokenizing.
mean NFT? How can it be an NFT if it's a physical piece of vinyl, and an NFT is like something digital? I don't understand.
Well, basically you're tokenizing each vinyl. Each vinyl has like a number, like it's going to have the same barcode as the NFT. Like when you make an NFT, it comes with like a QR code, and they are going to be numbered. Like each one is going to be one NFT, and so like you get that thing. Like yeah, it's a weird idea, but that's why we're still thinking about it, like trying to plan it.
I don't know if it's a physical thing, if it's a piece of vinyl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already unique.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think NFTs are great in the beginning. There's a lot of digital artists or normal visual artists that had a really hard time getting an income.
Yeah.
And when the first NFT wave happened, it was finally a way for these guys who'd been working for years and years and years and years to get some income.
Yeah.
And that was great. That was great to see. But then when it became this sort of tool for speculation, and speculative investment, then, and everyone jumped on the bandwagon, it sort of soured. The whole idea soured. But initially, wow, great. So that artists,
I think
could get some money.
No, it's exactly what you say, and like also like we've been thinking of not thinking, like just actually actively trying to get this project off the air. Like for about 1 year, I've been with this guy like talking about it, and I've been thinking about doing the NFT for way longer. From the first time that I saw these NFTs happening, like almost 2 years ago. So, but yeah, it's like you say, like the vinyl is already one thing, and then the token is already another, and like to link them up correctly, like it's like we're basically having to program our own applications to be able to link them properly together, and doing our own codes and doing like different things, and that's why basically I'm getting into programming right now.
I think I grew up listening to vinyl, like my parents' record collection and stuff, and I have a lot of fond memories of looking at huge 12-inch covers and gatefold albums and things, and then putting this heavy thing on the platter and hearing the music. But for me inherently, vinyl is very sad. It's a very sad format because of that physical connection between the needle and the vinyl. Each time you play it,
It gets
it
worse.
dies. The music dies a little bit, and there's
Yeah.
a little bit less fidelity. The response is a little bit narrower, and after what 10 years of a favorite album or something, or a DJ track, it sounds like shit. That's
Yeah.
why, like I remember when I went into record stores when I was really young, and they were hot tracks. DJs would buy 2 or 3 copies of the same track simply because with a heavy needle and queuing this thing up weekend after weekend, there's a noticeable drop in quality
Yeah.
even after a couple of months.
Yeah. No, especially a
And
DJ really like rinsing it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I went to I was at a party at a festival, and somebody played a classics vinyl classics set, with 20, fuck, I don't know, 30-year-old vinyl, all the classic tracks. And Jesus Christ, it sounded appalling.
Yeah.
To play a 20-year-old DJ single, it sounded honestly terrible. And that's why vinyl is so sad for me. It really is a bit sad.
Yeah. Well, you have a message right here from Nomad CR1. Is dear Werner, Volvana. Werner is your surname, right? Uh, just want to thank you for creating Technology V3. This was life-changing experience. Pura vida.
Wow, that's really sweet. Thank you. It wasn't just me. It was me and my mate Mike. He doesn't really make that much music anymore, but we made it together. He had a studio in London, and I was staying with him, and we were just enjoying. It was a nice studio. It was a beautiful space, acoustically wonderful.
Oh wow.
Not that we really knew what we were doing, and yeah, we made a load of tracks there. It was good times.
That's really cool. Which year was this?
I don't know, 2002.
Oh wow. Fuck. Yeah, I wasn't even.
Yeah, 20 years ago. My God.
Damn. Well, you didn't know what you were doing, but you definitely had better hearing than today. You know.
That's true. Jesus Christ. Deaf as a post.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten like since 10 years ago. Actually, it was 10 years ago that I got into one party in Brazil, and they had this monitored like super loud. I couldn't turn it down. I couldn't turn it off because it was in Sirius, and so like if you like disconnected, it disconnected the whole side, and yeah, basically I got pretty deaf on my right ear. Uh, and after that, I was really upset with myself for like a year or two, and but I was using earplugs since then until like for playing like this, especially molded. And that kind
Yeah.
of brought it back. Not fully.
I think we did a lot of damage a long time ago, because now if you go to a club, there's calibration, there's frequency response measurement. If you go to a sound system in a festival, the technicians are aware of the sound pressure
Yeah.
at all points on the dance floor. But 10 years ago, 20 years ago, there was nothing.
Yeah. Maybe.
So people and DJs, we were all being subjected to hugely massive sound pressure levels that was killing our hearing, and we didn't really even know.
Yeah. No, we were like looking for like that point in the dance floor where our nostrils would like vibrate. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is nice.
Where your eyeballs would shake. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
shaking. And
Yeah.
talking about people and DJs and sound pressure level. Well, summer of 2022. What are your plans for the summer, man?
I have no gigs in February, and in March the 19th, I have a gig in Portugal. So
Oh,
gig in Portugal, and maybe I'm going to be in SA seeing friends.
Cool.
Maybe even a gig there before, I think in the beginning of March, hopefully.
Nice.
Portugal on the 20th.
Nice.
And then I need to maybe a gig 1 week later somewhere in Europe. I don't know. There's nothing really at the moment, but I need to get back to Japan by the 1st of April because I will probably have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then on the 16th of April, I have a gig in Tokyo, a club gig.
Oh, cool.
And then, I don't know, a couple of gigs in Japan from April. It's warming up again.
That's really good.
Outdoor parties.
Nice. And you got well, that's really good. Like, I really don't have anything booked. But I can't really go out of Mexico because I fucked up a number. But yeah,
Parties are happening now in Mexico.
well, Mexico, there is a lot of things happening, like a few gigs. So I think maybe I have something here in Mexico on March. But anyways, it's really good to know that there is already that you're going out and going to Portugal now, and like and Japan is opening up at least inside for the insiders, for the locals.
It never really stopped here. They were the bigger venues. I don't know what they called it, state of emergency or corona restrictions or whatever they called it in that time where the government was asking bars and things not to happen. The bigger venues stopped, but underground parties continued, and
good.
smaller venues continued.
That's really good. Yeah, we did stop for a while, but that was just basically the people were a little bit scared. Especially, it's not really that the government. Well, the government asked us to stop, but it's Mexico, so it's a little bit like anything can happen. Wild West. But yeah, man. So yeah, well, at least some things are happening, man. And you also are with new management, no? Like you got Beyond Management.
Yes, which yeah, I'm with Beyond Management, and it's a guy that it's run by a guy I used to work with in the past that we have a good relationship with.
Oh, good.
And yeah, in these crazy times, like you said, with Corona and stuff, trying to get the ball rolling again. I mean, how long is it? It's been more than 2 years of this craziness, crazy times. But it's changed everybody's lives, everybody. But I'm happy in a way. I think it's made us. I mean, shit. Apart from the fact that people have lost friends and family and loved ones who've died in it. But also there's been it's been a learning experience for the planet.
Yeah.
It's changed everything, and maybe we needed that. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to say. It's hard to say from my point of view because I haven't lost family in it, but there's a lot of people that have, especially in places like Mexico, in Brazil, in Africa, and it's hard for people in places like Japan to their opinion of it is very different because they're like, well, what's this about? It's just a nuisance. But to a place where many people have died, it's a totally different reality.
Yeah, man.
So it's such a polarizing event, and it's crazy. My God.
No, you're right. Like a different experience in different points of the world.
Completely different experiences, yeah.
And well, there's one question from Twitch stream. Actually, are you on Twitch? Because we're gonna start listening to music like very very soon, and we're gonna be playing it.
I have a Twitch account, but I haven't logged in for like 2 years or anything. I'm not set up. I don't have any mic or anything on the computer.
No, no, you don't need anything from the computer except like just put the Twitch stream on with just put my channel on, and then we'll hear the track together.
Okay, sure.
But you have your computer on your left, right? It's on.
Yep.
So if you can just yeah maybe just log on to there, and yeah, there is one question while you're doing it. What's your favorite gig ever made? Like what's your favorite gig in ever?
I don't know. Each country has different vibes and different. I've had so many. I'm lucky to have had so many amazing experiences in many different countries.
Hmm.
So it's difficult for me to pick out one amazing gig, that happened. And there's so many angles. Like, it could be an amazing gig because of its location and everyone being happy, or it could have been an amazing gig because people were bouncing off the ceiling with excitement and howling with every track, every kick drum.
Yeah.
There are many different, or there might have been a gig where I was just completely so happy that it was the best gig at the time. It's hard for me to say.
uh,
It's very difficult to pick one.
yeah. Well, Macaulay saying he loved you at Ozora. Which year? Which year was that?
I played in 2012 and in 2016 or 2017, one of those.
Oh, 17, he said.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, festivals, it's really if you don't have the right slot, it's completely hit and miss. You get up and like when I played in 2012, I got to the dance floor at 9 a.m. and there was like
Graveyard.
30 people on the dance floor. The zombies that had been too high to actually find their tent. And that's it. That's your set. There's no, it doesn't matter how good you play or what tracks you've got. It's going to be those couple of people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a big festival. That's the way it is.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, I've had a few graveyard sets on those big festivals. Like in Boom when I played, that was pretty graveyardy. It was good though. Like Boom has like always a good energy in the dance floor for it. But it's like it's like you say, it's the zombies that couldn't find their tents, or like actually it's like okay, it's the people from the nighttime that they like the nighttime music and they're like just leaving, and then like it's the few people that like daytime music and they're coming in like checking cards. So it's like it's like the how do you say, like, is the shift change, like they're just changing shifts.
It's true. It's true. Jesus. Yeah. And then it can be kind of demoralizing because in your mind, you're thinking of victory and glory, and then the reality of it is that, Yeah.
But yeah, that's been some of my best and worst gigs. I had a really good time slot at one point, and I was like, shit. I didn't do my homework, and yeah, I totally dropped the ball at that time. Like I was between Tristan and Dixter, like second to last in Ozora. So it was full dance floor. I was like, and I was just like depressed and shit. So I couldn't really do my best.
And you were playing a pre-made set off your computer. You couldn't really adapt what you were going to play, or what?
No,
Why?
I was adapting. I was adapting like because I was playing from the computer but clips. So I was pretty adaptable, but like I just didn't have it in me at that time. I was like completely numb, like numb inside. And
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
That's I've experienced that. I think all artists and DJs have experienced that same idea. I mean, that same situation. Numb.
Yeah, general numbness. It's just life, man.
Deaf.
Life just gets to you sometimes.
Yeah. Sure. I found I have my password here, but I don't remember what my user account was. Let me just go to my mail and see if I can remember. will find it
I
because on my keychain I have the password and not the
but maybe you don't even have to log in. Maybe you can just like go into the channel. It's Tronald McDonald, but with double N in the Donald.
Let me find it. I'm pretty sure I'll find it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, because
It's
it's either that or you download the tracks as well, which like whatever floats your boat.
I'm just not find it. It's all good. There we go.
Killa.
And now I can find that channel of yours. How do you spell it? Tronal?
Yeah, Tronald, MC Donald with double N. McDonald.
I don't even know how to spell McDonald. MC Don.
Killa.
Found it.
Wait, we got another track here from SoundCloud.
I see you. What's up, bro?
Oh, you see yourself? Cool. What's up, man?
I
Hola.
can see that I need a shave.
No, look, I'll do a zoom in so you can see yourself like better. There you go. Full screen Rinka. So first track we have here is from my friend that he actually named this podcast. So he's a good one. His name is Sulikos, and the name of this track is, I mean, no name, whatever project something. Okay, let's try to play this stuff. Let's see if you hear this.
Shouldn't I put on headphones? Otherwise, it's going to feed back. Or
No, I'll stop your microphone from going out on the air, so you can just listen in your speakers, no problem.
okay.
Actually, what's your speakers? It's like Genelec 8040s.
They're old ones.
Or 8060s or something, right? Oh, they're the big ones though.
I can't see the name. But actually, that's something else I want to do. Like, I would really like to start constructing speakers.
Oh,
I know I have a very patchy record for producing, and I've released a whole lot of really horribly mixed and produced music. But I think I could construct some pretty nice sounding monitors and PA speakers.
oh man,
That's what I want to do.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's really intricate work, especially from the cabinets. Like it comes from everything, like acoustically and everything. But it's really cool. I think
I recently started, I looked at some of the software that I would need, and it's super intuitive. It's really interesting, and it would take out any guesswork and and then also each unit you would run with a DSP unit that runs off a Raspberry Pi.
wow.
Each unit gets that, which you can program the same way you would program. I mean, your crossover in that speaker is the same way you would EQ sound in your DAW,
Wow.
which is amazing for me. It's a really new idea when it comes to speaker construction, and that since I looked at how it would be done, I'm super excited to try it. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. DIY is really cool. I did some compressors and equalizers a few years ago.
I know. I remember.
Super
I
fun.
remember when you made them.
It is super fun, man. Really. I think
And you get a good tool. You get a good tool out of it.
yeah, man, like one of the best. Like for example, I got here like a Neve 22, no, what, 2254. Like for one of those stereo units, like I would pay, I don't know, like 12,000 or something, and I built it for like 2,000. So that's pretty good. But you know, the SSL also was like pretty cheap, and because I sold some, like that, basically that was for free. This one. Oh yeah, okay. Let's.
80 trick mastering Scorb. He also built all his own outboard, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He actually he asked me for advice before he started his first one. He's like, "Hey man, where did you get all the information?" I just sent him all the links. He's like, "Yeah, look at all this," and he found like really good quality clones for. I know his SSL. He built it himself. I'm not sure what else he has.
Mm.
But yeah.
No, really good work. Really good work. Solid work, AD.
Yeah, man.
Impressive. For a long time, a lot.
He's
Very
always
good.
he's always been the like in the tip of the arrow in terms of you know, like creativity, and he's really good at what he does, man.
Completely.
Yeah, man.
Completely.
Okay, so let's listen to the first track. The name is Sulikos, and the name of the is Project 1304 1301. What the fuck? Okay, so let's just play this. Let's go.
Cool track.
Yeah, super cool track. It a little bit abrupt ending, I would say.
Yeah, super cool track. Let me just mute my
Oh shit.
abrupt ending. There we go. Just muted.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah,
Cool.
what do you think, man?
Um, I really liked it. I liked that arpeggio that came at the middle of the track was cool. I mean, me personally, I don't like it when it's so just a whole lot of sounds and like there needs to be some sort of tonality that comes in. So from that middle of the track when the arpeggio came in, I sort of I took attention of the track and I liked it.
Mm.
And then at the end of the track, just before it finished, how it I mean it was like a drop into the clean, no percussion, and then one sound, I think, with the kick and bass. I think that was the end out of the track, but that sounded interesting for me. That sort of dramatic arrangement could have come earlier in the track because I really liked it.
Mm.
I think it was like the end out was the last, just before the last 16 bars. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
really liked that move, that sort of move from sounds into the drop.
Mm. That's really good.
It gave like ID to the track. So maybe try use that part, use it
Before.
earlier in the track.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good idea. Very me in the technical sense, like I think the kicks having a little bit too much like do like that, like 200 300 like hertz, bit thuddy, and like if you dip down a little bit, that's going to make it warmer. But yeah, definitely I see your point. Like the beginning kind of is like a soup, and it doesn't really pick you up until that like first arpeggio, and like when that like
But
when
there's lots of tracks that are like that. There's
yeah.
gazillions of tracks that use that same idea. So I think it's like a taste choice. It's not really wrong or right.
Yeah.
It's however you want it to be.
Mm.
And also, like when it comes to kick drums, I mean, we obsess over it for decades.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that would make sure there's enough sub on it, and it's just more or less shaped, and then it's cool. And then there's other producers that are going to try as hard as they can to get a very wide boost. Like from 100, it doesn't actually start going down, and it just stays up and becomes this massive thing.
Mm.
It's also taste.
Yeah.
Some guys would and other guys wouldn't, and I don't know. I mean, after all this time, I really don't think I have that much idea of what's going on, even with my own music.
Yeah,
I was at a Dana festival a month ago, and they had a Danley clone sound system, which is a unity horn. It's not a line array, and that sound system really is the one that made me decide I wanted to start making speakers. I mean, that concept of sound system. And I realized that a lot of stuff in my mind, like how we sit and make music in a studio with two near field monitors, maybe a sub, it's completely different to how the music is reproduced in a festival or in a club. It's completely different.
yeah.
And all of the things that I obsess about in music are actually not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
It's totally different. How we play the music or how it's reproduced in public and how we make it is very, very different.
Yeah, I think like we start freaking out about like the little things, and like some of those little things make a big difference. Like for example, if you have like a big volume change from like the kick and the bass, like if the kick is like way too loud, like maybe 2 or 3 decibels too loud. But that's like it's very apparent when it's 2 or 3 decibels too loud. But then you have like a much bigger wiggle room when it turns like as long as the dynamics are correct, like this is what like once Yuli told me. It's like as long as the dynamics are correct, everything will sound okay. Like if your kick is pushing a little bit more than your bass and your percussions are not like ridiculously high, that everything is going to be fine. And
It's true.
like the synths shouldn't be too low, because then like it's just kick and bass that you're hearing. But like that's one of the only things that it's like you can really appreciate it with the near fields, that is like, oh, this is too loud. But then it's like, it's a matter of like taste also, like you say.
I really, I have a problem with when the snare is playing in trance music and the track has been mastered and everything's been squashed together. I tend to hear that the attack of the snare covers up the transient of the kick.
Mm.
So from a few years ago, if you're in a small sound system, if you're in a club, when that situation occurs, I notice people kind of, instead of dancing like that, they start to dance like this, because they have snare attack, kick attack, snare attack, kick attack. But then on a huge sound system, like especially this unity horn system, I realized that there's enough. It can actually reproduce the sounds accurately enough so that I could hear the kick transient on every kick, even though the snare was playing. But in a studio and in a car and in a smaller sound system, it's a problem. It was interesting for me to notice,
What's the difference between like these unity horn systems and like a usual normal, like function
A
one?
line array.
You,
Well, a function one isn't a line array. A function one is like big full cabs. Geez, what's the difference? Well, when I first heard it, I was just amazed at the detail and the scale of the soundstage, and then confused because it looked like there was one or two full range boxes. I mean, there was one main one on either side, and there were thousands of people there and everyone grooving, and this massive sound, and it looked like the cabinet was empty.
Fuck.
So immediately I was like, what the hell? And it was completely uniform. The amount of the response didn't really change as I walked across the dance floor and left and right and in and out, and it was amazing. I couldn't understand it. I had no idea. And at that point I sort of decided I wanted to know more. But how it works, also the goal of the creator was always, let's make an efficient sound system. Let's convert this energy into sound properly, which I never really cared about much. It was never really interesting for me. But then I was actually in Mexico a few months ago, and there was a sound system, and the amps were at full power, and the speakers, the subs especially, were shaking in and out, and I got the feeling that most of this electricity was just ending up, this energy was not translating into sound, It's just,
dissipates.
So, yeah, going into the movement of the cones or a lot of it been lost as heat, and, like the cables and everything. It was just it wasn't fun. You want to be able to turn on your laptop speakers or a little speaker like this, and it needs to explode. And so the idea of a unity horn is that you have a horn, and what it's like when you make a cone of paper or
it just expands everything.
The early gramophones that didn't have any amplification was just this cone, like a needle and a cone.
Like
it creates, or a horn, the sound is multiplied, is made big by that structure.
Yeah, also like this, no?
So
like
they have a whole lot of. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry, I'm making a horn for my ear, just like for like these old people when they used to like, oh, I can't hear you. They put the horn in the ear.
Yeah, or like if you can't hear something, you kind of cup your ears. So it's the unity horn concept is a horn, with multiple drivers spaced up and down that cone,
Oh,
and they multiply inside it, and what you get out at the end is a big sound.
wow.
And a horn sounds inherently like distorts the sound in a way, you know, like that doesn't sound good. But if a manufacturer or a designer can get around those inherent problems of a horn being honky, you know,
Yeah.
then you can have this amazing sound, amazing sound, and that's what these people have created. And also to touch back on your DIY forums and community, these people are not. I mean, when you think of the attitude of much less innovative creators and designers and sound system manufacturers, they're, you know, Danley and Tom Danley, the creator, are so open and so welcoming to a do-it-yourself spirit, which I think is fantastic, which is amazing. These people they have a commercial enterprise with proprietary technology, and they're actively telling people to look into it and develop it and design it and make your own, and, you know, even manufacture your own thing. That's wonderful. That's incredible. That doesn't exist in electronics to me, you know,
Yeah.
before I became aware of it. That's incredible. What a spirit.
Yeah. No, I love that. Like the DIY community, like obviously like I didn't look into acoustic DIY stuff like cabinets and speakers, but like obviously you can't just go to what's the name of this guy's like Barefoot or Vocal or anyone and just like, hey, well, how are you doing your stuff? Like, well, they won't tell you, no, um, but like for example, this equipment that I have is like all the patents are released because it's old equipment, no? So
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, I found the people that are actually reverse engineering this stuff, they are really, really, really inviting. Like they really help you out with the project. They tell you like, no, man, do it like this, do it like that. This is the best capacitor for your crossover, and like, no, like you know, like they really, really help. They're the most active people on those forums. Like, you know, if you go into this
Isn't
mastering
that
for,
amazing?
yeah, it's
That's what we need.
like just yesterday I had my first interaction with this guy. Well, you probably know Bob Katz. So he is. We were talking. Well, someone asked about to turn potentiometers into stepped switches, yeah, and he instantly just replied that like, look, if you go into Elma, I can't find the link now, but if you go into Elma switches, like that's the brand for the switches, no, they'll have a scheme of the resistors that you need for each, like to do the level like on, you know, like stepped, no, so because that's what you need with your stepped switches is like the levels, like each step has to have certain resistance, so it's like 1 dB, 2 dB, etc., no. So
Hmm.
and yeah, like he I mean these guys, they're like such cool people, really, like most of them obviously, like not everyone, but I really appreciate that.
Bobcats was really active on what's it called before it changed its name, Gear Sluts,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
for years and years, and has like, yeah, that is a name that always pops up when you go looking for information. Straight dirt. You know, you need some answers.
Mm.
These are the people that are giving the answers, with no bullshit. I
Yeah,
remember that.
and this guy, like he wrote one of the best books ever about mastering, really, like, you know, the art and science of mastering audio or something like this. I can't really remember, but it's, man, this guy's a mastering eminence for the last, I don't know, like 30 years or something. This guy's, I was looking at one of
Totally.
their, Yeah, I was looking at one of a live stream in Facebook actually, and we should go into that subject very soon because Facebook is something that is like really bad. But anyways, I went into a live stream and they were talking about conversion and soft clipping and like true peak limiting and all that stuff, and it was super interesting. I think I have a link around there somewhere. Like I'll look for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Awesome.
these people really share the information, and that's what I really appreciate. So also like, well, we wanted to talk about Facebook and Meta and all that rebranding, right? Like these people have been doing some crazy stuff in the world, like just spreading, like basically politicizing every movement that it is. And yeah, man, what do you think about
Look,
this rebranding?
I, I don't really, I don't have 3D, I don't have virtual goggles,
Me neither.
so I can't really tell. I've never experienced what they're gonna do. Um, but I think there's a lot of shit in the world that is being made worse by that company. I remember years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, when they introduced that sort of timeline, um, with different, like with your interests and pages you follow. It didn't it changed from like a direct chronological record of what your friends did or what pages that you followed posted. It changed,
Mm.
and then became very dynamic, and you started to see news in your feed. And that was interesting. That was super cool. And I think it sucked us in. This is more than 10 years ago. It sucked us really into their platform. And then this idea of misinformation, and very harmful ideas being multiplied and fermenting, and I mean, brewing, and then having real life impacts. That's it was really scary, and I think there's a lot of shit in the world that is made worse by this platform.
Yeah, yeah. Well, definitely, we were talking about just earlier about this all these commotions that happen, in Myanmar and like what's the Azerbaijan and like all this stuff that really like it just potentialized it.
Conflicts that are made worse,
Yeah,
that are made worse by this platform not actually taking a more proactive step, and proactive steps in controlling the content.
yeah,
Extremist content like incitements to violence, incitements to genocide, um, really appalling ideas and stuff, and it just sort of just exists on the platform publicly. Yes,
mm.
that's gross.
Yeah. That's really bad. And also, it's like I think in a way, like they are actively silencing some stuff that like does not really have anything to be silenced for because it's just it might be a little bit like different side of the same story, but like it just doesn't fit their agenda,
Yeah,
like their corporate agenda.
completely.
And then there is
Completely,
not.
and manipulation of this platform, and exploitation of the data on it by hostile regimes, via private companies. It's not happened once or twice. This has happened again and again and again and again in different parts of the world for years. So we don't really. There's no doubt in anybody's head that this is bad news for a lot of things, but we are addicted to it and we continue to use it.
Hmm.
And now with, like you said, Meta, with this new idea of a sort of VR space,
Yeah.
we forget, if it's nice and sparkly and interesting and exciting, we forget that it's the same goddamn company behind it. I certainly do. I can forget very easily.
Yeah.
Flash some lights in my eyes.
Yeah.
Enough there.
Like, oh, this new thing, but
Yes.
you saw their stocks went down like 30% or something in like one day. It looks like a red candle, like plonk, like that. It's amazing.
It goes up, goes down,
Yeah,
These are
buy the
huge
dip.
companies with resources, infinite fucking resources. They will continue to do their thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh well, look, it's electrics. But the forums are pretty handy though. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
They are. They are handy, and also it would be impossible for us to promote our music effectively without them.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a audio forums. I mean, like there's a forum for audio and humor and wonderful stuff. But then on the other side, there's forums that are straight up inciting violence in one way or another. And mm, you know, it's a tricky situation.
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's hard, man, because we're already, like you say, we're already addicted, and like, who doesn't use Facebook? Like right now, all my promotion goes on Facebook. I obviously don't pay any magazines because who the fuck buys magazines right now?
Exactly.
Like nobody. And like who like it, I remember my first album, like we had to like get a proper promotional campaign, like get stuff on magazines, get like articles here, like send stuff there, like it was proper. And now it's just like, oh, well, promotion, just like allocate some budget to Facebook ads and that's it. And it's, I don't know. It's like minimalistic.
That's true. I'm just remembering. Did you see that documentary about the reporter that was trying to find the source of the QAnon conspiracy theory that which was like a group on a message board on 4chan and then
4chan.
something else
I
and
did.
then how he manages to go in and get answers. And there was constantly this thing that they said, and I don't remember exactly, it was like, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I agree with your right to say it,
Yeah.
you know. And it's a really, really tricky situation. Where do you draw the line on something that's could be, is should be allowed to be said, and other things that shouldn't? And I don't know. With the takeover of Hong Kong, which really upset me because I think was done under the cover of COVID when everyone had a lot of other things on their mind.
Yeah.
Brexit too, like really stinky, dirty stuff that gets done when people's attention, when their heads are turned. But it's very scary, like not to have the freedom to express your views.
Yeah. Well,
It's scary as fuck.
we're seeing it right now. It's like super. Sorry for interrupting you.
No.
I think we're seeing it right now with like all of this stuff. Like for example, I I've been under like heavy flack in my Facebook because I've been posting stuff about like Neil Young and Joe Rogan and all this like bullshit about Spotify, like Jesus, like proper leftist, like proper I don't know, like it just feels like so orthodox, like this, like it's like conservative leftists versus like far right libertarians kind of thing. Now it's like it's so weird, like this whole I'm not even understanding what's happening anymore. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but
Yeah.
what can we do, man? What can we do? This is the world we're living in, and we can just make music and keep our heads above water. So, wait, let's just check one of those tracks that Macaulay sent us. The name is Whirly Durly, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that straight, but weirdly, weirdly dearly, something like that. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to a 0-1 compilation, maybe, maybe not. Okay, let's just play this stuff, man. One, two,
Yeah,
and
mute my mic and I'll listen on the speakers.
oh, let's do this. Yeah. Cool. We are back. And
Cool track.
yeah, it's cool, no?
Oh, we are back. One sec, let me mute here. There we go.
Yeah, man. What do you think?
I liked it. My thoughts when it was playing is there's two very different kinds of tracks. I mean, well, not two. There's many different kinds of tracks, but my goal as a performer is a sort of like very, very intense, maximum energy, rock, 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 rock sort of thing. But then from a party point of view and a DJ point of view, tracks like that, which don't have this impact and drops and are also very, very necessary.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that track is, yeah, it's a psychedelic trance track, and it's 140 something, and it's hammering and going, but it's also very, very chilled out. It's super relaxed, the track's going along, the percussion, all these sounds, and I can visualize the party, a festival at night or in a club, everybody like tripping and grooving and enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's so chilled. I mean, you know what I mean? The vibe of the track is chilled. The guy making the track too is probably very relaxed.
Yeah,
and I like that.
He definitely feels that way. Like his vibe is pretty relaxed. That's Raphael for you, Macaulay. So yeah, that's really I thought it could like have like potentially a little break in at some point because of that. Like I felt like it for me as performing this kind of music, because I always make this kind of music that is like almost no breaks, almost no impacts and like that, and you kind of need a little bit of both in a set to actually keep the attention from the people, right? Like obviously you can't go full no breaks, because like at 3 hours or something, you're like, people are gonna be like, oh my god, I need a break, But that's my take on it. I think production wise it's pretty cool. If anything, it kind of like, it feels like a lot of like, squeak 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 kind of parts, and not so much of like the atmospheric kind of involving situation in some places, that maybe instead of a break you could like potentially do something like that, just like grab the people from the sides, with a big like atmospheric part, and then like eventually just smash them in the middle again with your leads and your grids. No.
No, it's up to the guy who makes it, like how much,
Yeah.
how hard you push it. Also, I thought the percussion is all fine. There's no problem with it. But in the main parts, decide where's it going to be slamming, and then put it like a big open hat, like so people know. But at the moment, like I said, it's maybe a style. It's just a style choice, You want everyone to be chilling and partying and in it.
Yeah.
Or you want it to be more, in your face. And both of those vibes are necessary in the party.
Yeah. Yeah, and within the set as well, no? Like, just you need some of those to like, you're just like chill the tension a little bit, and then at some point just just push.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too, man. Yeah, but really, really good feedback there. And Macaulay also is saying, yeah, the track is kind of chill out. That ended being the goal. Yeah, so that's cool. And yeah, man. So wait, we had another. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The mic drop. Oh, there, it's back.
Oh, so, what happened after Adana? I hear that it was like a little bit of a COVID fest, yeah. And you got back to Japan, and in the protocol of Japan is staying for like a few weeks, well, like 10 days or something, until you get like a negative test in a hotel, right?
Yeah. How does it work? So yeah, basically all of the artists in Adana, we hadn't seen each other in 2 years, so there was no mask wearing, and there was plenty of plenty of joint sharing and loud drunken shouting in each other's ears and faces, and we all got COVID, but was Omicron, so no one went to the hospital. It was all okay.
That's really good.
But then, yeah, I'm not sure actually whether I got it at the party or on the plane on the way back, because there was somebody coughing their lungs out right behind me.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, the protocol is you arrive back and then you get tested. You do like, what's it called? Lamina something. It's not like a PCR test, it's something different. But
Oh,
anyway, they test you. If you're negative, then you can leave the airport. Well, actually, no. Actually, depending on where you've come from, you have to quarantine. They put you in a hotel for like 3 days or 6 days or 10 days. But if you came from a place that's not on the list and you tested negative, then you could go home and self-isolate for 2 weeks.
okay, wow.
Um, well, I got to the airport and I had to, because it was coming from Brazil, it was 3 days or 4 days, I don't remember. And then I sat in the hotel, and then they test you again before they let you out. But then I tested positive, and then they put me in another hotel for like, I don't know, a week or 10 days, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then finally, when you test negative, then they let you out.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. I fully respect their thoroughness on this matter, and Japan has the money to, put people in hotels and feed them and do all of this stuff, which is pretty impossible if you try apply that model to Mexico or Africa or.
Well, in other countries like in Canada, like they ask you. Well, they don't ask you. They make you pay for it, right? Like Canada, you have to pay for
Well,
it
the UK,
yourself.
Australia, New Zealand, just thousands of. I think it's like more of a deterrent. They're like, you got to pay for this, so if you don't need to travel, don't,
That's
because this
crazy.
is what it's going to cost you.
It's
Makes sense as well.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. But it's like, those like a few countries like those, like like Australia, New Zealand, they're pretty well off. Canada, man, they're like first world. Um, Here in Mexico, you don't have to do anything. They just like, oh yeah, pff. They just like measure your temperature. Off you go. It's pretty crazy. But then in that hotel, I know because I got a project with Masaya Spectrasonics, and I know you've been fiddling together. How is this? Well, in a track, not fiddling together, fiddling on a track together. That
Well,
sounded wrong.
it's a hotel and you get bored, so yeah.
Yeah. How is that?
The track. We started at Messiah's house last year at his studio, and then yeah, not sitting in the same room, but working on the track while we were in quarantine. And I want to send him a message because he played it over the weekend in Brazil,
Oh yeah.
and he's returning. I don't know what day it is today. Today's Wednesday, so he's probably arriving back today. And I'm gonna laugh if he tests positive again and he has to sit in the same hotel or another hotel around there.
But
It's gonna be funny.
that would be pretty difficult to test positive again, no? Because he just tested positive like a month ago, so he should have like somewhat
Not
immunity, right?
necessarily, not necessarily. And even if you got sick a month ago and you have no symptoms, those tests are designed to try and really see if there's any presence of the virus. So
It's
it's
crazy.
totally feasible. You come back a month later and you sit in the hotel again.
Oh man.
Totally, totally feasible. But
Yeah.
so what? We eat the bento box and we work on tunes.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. To be honest, it's like a little bit of a vacation, well, from your own house, which is not so cool. But if the hotel is comfortable, but yeah, like being just like in a hotel for a week or like 10 days, it must be a little bit.
Yeah, the novelty wears off after like 5 days.
Yeah, I can
For me, it
imagine.
did anyway.
So
But I don't know. I think it's very like it's very chilled. We're all chilled with it and the situation here. And like now, looking at the news, like all these really angry Canadians and Americans and Europeans and people like objecting to masks because it infringes on their rights, and sure, mandatory vaccine mandates definitely infringe on a lot of people's ideas and rights, but from our point of view, we're very chilled about it, and no one's getting angry and protesting and flipping and, like they are in other parts of the world. We're just very chilled with it here.
Yeah. Well, Japanese people are in general pretty chilled, and they understand health. Health is it's kind of an asset as well for the country and for like everyone, no? Like, and like they already were fine, but like they already were using face masks, like even without pandemics, no? Like it's
Face masks before COVID here, and no handshakes or hugging, so already they can bypass a lot of infection that is happening in other parts of the world.
Yeah. Like here in Mexico, we're way too familiar with like unfamiliar people, you know? It's like, hey, I don't know you, but yeah, let's give us a hug. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's nice. That's the Latin spirit, It's just
Yeah, not right now. It's okay, but like we're all learning little by little that that's at least for now that's not what we should be doing. But yeah, man, this traveling lately has, well, for me it's like completely impossible because I am a dumb fucker and I fucked up a number. But anyways, let's go to another track. We have one here from one of my patrons and good old Gar Hermes. It's a unfinished track as well, so expect a really abrupt ending. He's been making music
no problem.
he's been making music for about like maybe a bit less than a year or something like that. So let's listen to this stuff, man. 1, 2, and bam. Cool. So we're
Cool
back.
track.
Oh, yeah, we're
Cool.
back.
So
What do you think, man? This is he's one of my patrons. He's been learning a lot.
one sec, let me mute. Sorry.
No worries.
There we go. Again, it's the same as the track that you played before it. Where is the line between a hypnotic trance track that is making the people groove and happy, and where's the impact show element? Where do you draw the line?
Mm.
And each artist has their own desire of what they want the music to be. So it's not really me personally. I want like more definite ups and downs and drops and bangs, but that's just me. So I can't really. It's up to the artist to decide.
Definitely. Well, so you think this could I mean, obviously, like it depends on them, but by that you mean like it's almost like the same as last one, no? It's like pretty flat, like a flat response, like all the way, no? It's like it's a cool story, no?
Flat, like an even sort of flowing. I always think in this style. Oh, I always think back to that Hux Flux track on their first album, Idiot.
Yeah.
Cryptic Hux Flux, Idiot. Yeah, the album Cryptic Crunch, first track, Idiot, which was like Hux Flux, but was actually Logic Bomb or something, because they have all these atonal psychedelic sounds, but then in between that, they have very definite big leads, tonally rich sounds, stabs and arpeggios, and I don't know, like for me personally, I love that. If you have a psychedelic sound, atonal weirdness and interspersed with actual big blocks of sound, of tone.
Musical stuff, yeah.
But then like if you look at like a subgenre of trance like dark sci, it's completely atonal. There is no lead. There is nothing. There's like, there's a tone from the bass, and then above that is just noise and sounds. And I'm wondering, it's a definite. Maybe people when they're in psychedelic space, they just they want that. They don't want these sounds to come in and give a note or a tone. Or, I don't know. So again, up to the guy, up to the people, up to the guy who makes it to decide what he wants the vibe to be.
Definitely, yeah. It's a good good point of view for sure. Well, Gar Hermes this is newer style mix of forest sounds and full on bass lines, but a little bit less.
Yeah, forest. It's mostly practically same as Dark Side. It's completely atonal as a subgenre.
Yeah, I think so. I think in terms of the sounds, like you are getting much better, man. Like Gar, like it's really coming along much nicer than the last ones that you've sent. I can definitely see this kind of fungus funk kind of influence in this. In general, I think the production is also getting better, man. Just keep going at this. Like Vanna said, I don't think that my style or like my ideas should influence your artistic growth. So in these terms, like if this is what you want in terms of like, I think the storyline, even with the atonality and all this like noises and stuff, is really cool. It's a nice storyline, and it kind of I think it's kind of walking and like going along really nice. Yeah, just keep going, man. Well done.
Take I don't know if you the guy who made the track, his name is Gar.
Gar Hermes, yeah.
Gar Hermes. Gar Hermes.
Got it.
Correct? How do I say it?
Yeah, something like that. Gar Hermes.
Gar Hermes. Are you using a reference track of an artist in the same scene, in the same genre as you want to make? Are you working with a reference track in your DAW?
Hmm. That's a good question. Let's see what he says. Oop, that's another track from him. Sometime.
I think you should definitely always have, at this point in your music making journey, have a reference track. Not just to get the balance of sounds right, but to follow the arrangement of those successful tracks, so that you say, in this point there is a build, and in this point it's built, there's a drop, and here's the full on part. Take that reference track and add a whole lot of markers, and then follow it, and then that will help you get to a professional sounding track quicker,
Hmm.
because you can totally go down this rabbit hole of a track that you're creating out of nowhere, and it's amazing, it's fresh and exciting, but then it takes longer, and you paint yourself into a corner because you've got this beautiful section and you really want it, but it's not right for the track, and it's difficult. So definitely use that reference track, especially for to find where the drops are, where the energy is.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I should be doing that as well, to be honest. Like,
All
because.
of us, all of us, even if it's your own track that you're putting on.
Hmm.
But like Gar Hermes says here, sometimes it's hard for me to copy these arrangements. Why is it hard? Because it's difficult, or you feel that you're plagiarizing? You're not. Trust me, you can take a track, put it into your DAW, and try copy it exactly, and I guarantee you it's going to come out sounding like a different track,
Yeah.
even if you go out of your way to copy it.
Yeah,
You
no, but
know?
you don't really need to understand sounds in general. What you need to understand is the structure, man. Like, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you that's a really, really good point. That's how I learned how to make music, is like I put one of these Silicon soundtracks back in like 2001 or something. It's like, okay, I'm gonna make this track, and I did kind of a remix. I actually went out of my way and did the same actual melodies and the same everything, like everything. I just wanted to make my mix of that track just to see how it was like laid out, and that really, really helped
Exactly.
me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. No, that's really good. And the more you like get more comfortable with your DAW, like the more sometimes that you forget to do this kind of stuff. And yeah, that's a really, really good point that you're making, man. Like we should all start doing this like sometimes.
Patricio, I need to pee.
Okay, go
Give me
for it.
2 seconds.
Go, 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 go,
Really
go.
need to pee.
Too much coffee, eh? Cool, man. Yeah, this has been really, really good session. Oh shit, not that one. This has been a really good session, guys, and especially you guys in Europe. I really thanks for showing up. We had a little bit of. I thought we were going to do this tomorrow, and then uh, we had to do it today. And so yeah, that's really good that you guys are here. And so okay, let's see which one goes later. Macaulay, you said you sent us something different. I got the jiggly wiggly here. And also Gar, you sent us another link right here. Let me just load it up. Uh, just see if we can play all of them. Wait, where is the jiggly new version? Wait. I'm not sure if I put that link up here. Oop. Maybe I lost it, man. Maybe I lost your second link, dude. Wait. Okay, there you go. No, that's Sulikos. No. This little Macaulay. Okay, that Probably this is the right version of Jiggly. That's it. Okay, so what? Oh, but I already. Wait. Save. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and we're back. Okay, so we have another couple of tracks, man, that we can review. So yeah, what when was this time that we met in this airport in France? Was like Charles de Gaulle. No, I was coming from Mexico, yeah, and you were coming from what? Spain or no? No,
Probably Malaga, Spain, and then we were going to play in this party.
South Africa.
It was Groovy Troopers and Organic, and
Yeah.
it was at the beginning of 2012, if
Oh, wow,
I remember correctly.
You got good memory, man. Yeah, definitely. It was around that time. And
But now that I think about it, if we were going to the same party, the promoter would have bought the tickets together, and he would have probably, put them in the same row. So it's not it. In retrospect, wasn't too much of a coincidence.
no, but like
We just
honestly,
didn't know that. We didn't know the lineup. Didn't know we were playing in the same party.
yeah, no, I didn't see the lineup, but also like my flight was booked by Grant. Grant, the because I was also playing at Vortex, and yeah, maybe they would have done that, but
Well, maybe it was the same promoters buying the. I have no idea.
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it was that way, but it was for me. It was just like, hey, what's going on, man? And then I was right there in the airport, and then I had like this little lump of hash in my pocket. I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? I just found it when I was already there, and yeah, I don't I it went all the way to South Africa, and then there was nothing to smoke, and I was like, okay, let's smoke this. It was this guy, what's his name? Seth. You remember Grant's little brother, Seth?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, he picked me up in the airport, and yeah, that was some funny times, man. Really. Okay, so wait, no, close, no, okay. Wait a second.
So to go back to that speaker story,
Oh yeah, please.
that guy Tom Danley, he designed these subs in the early '80s that didn't have normal voice. It didn't have a normal transducer in them. You had like a voice cone, and it was connected to a servo motor.
Oh fuck.
And then with some weird, I don't know how it worked. Some weird way of taking the because it was an amplified signal going into this thing, and then it would reproduce it could reproduce really low frequencies like 15, 20 hertz.
Oh.
And it was used by they sold thousands of the units to like theme parks and cinemas and things, and was used for special effects. It was a company. He worked for a company called Base Tech, and the subs were called Servo Drive. And a friend of mine was working in a warehouse down the road here, and he said, "There's some old speakers. Do you want to come pick them up?" And he sent me a picture, and it was two of these crazy servo driven subs. So I went down there to put them in my car, and one unit was sort of up to my head.
Shit.
And I couldn't even push the thing. I think it weighs almost close to 200 kilos a unit.
Oh man. Well, that must.
So
Where was this, in South Africa or?
no, yeah, now
Oh.
I just
damn.
thought of it now because there's a rack of old equipment that I did put in the car, and those speakers are still there. I can't wait to get them, go pick them up and open them up and see how the fuck they work.
Yeah.
I've never ever. I mean, they're kind of redundant. You don't need them today. But yeah, that is very low. I mean, like 15 hertz.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
come on,
break down buildings with that.
man. Yeah, like your house wouldn't stand after turning them up like a quarter for sure. It's like the
You can liquefy your internal organs. I don't know.
yeah, no, but that must be really transparent. Like when you're going into audible ranges, must be really amazing to like go through that.
I think, yeah. I mean, I really like the idea of like maybe three sets of sub, um, like because the like at a lower as you go lower and lower and lower, the speaker has to move more because the wavelength is getting longer and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I think like one driver per octave, the first three octaves, is one driver that works below 40, 50 hertz.
Yeah.
Like in that 30 hertz and down, and then another driver that is handling that second octave, and then another sub driver that's handling the third octave, and then they don't have to fight with each other. Each one is just doing a very, very narrow frequency range. I think that sounds incredible.
Yeah, it sounds really, really, really great idea, man. Like you should really get into this making speakers like that.
No, it exists already. Like most nice sound systems, they have the subs are at least two octaves. Like there's one doing one octave, the lowest, whether it's one or two octaves, and then another one on top of that.
Uh,
And a lot of the time, like really different speaker concepts.
yeah, to be honest, like big PAs, I don't really know anything about them, but yeah, it sounds really interesting. And this servo, I'm writing everything down because this is really interesting stuff. I'm gonna start reading about it. Um, it's just a matter of crossovers at that point, right? Like if you are unless you are really doing something like cleaner
Well, it depends. It's how the sound system is set up. Those where they set the crossover. I mean, if it's different cabs, it's up to the sound system design. I mean, the person who sets it up, how they want it to be. Whether
Yeah.
they want two stacks of subs. I mean, two layers of it, and one doing one octave and another one doing that, or all of them doing the same. It's completely free.
Yeah, no, I just meant because the crossovers are because they are like minimum phase filters. They will do some like crazy stuff with the phase that obviously if you align it, it's kind of fine. But there will be some weird crossovers of like I think
Yeah.
that would be the bottleneck on the design, I think.
Well, I mean, I played an outdoor party here a few months ago, which was a small gathering, was like 500 people, and there was the sound system from friends that used pretty sort of nondescript German equipment, TW. It's nothing that really, it's not amazing stuff, but they set it up with such skill and such thought, that it sounded absolutely incredible. It was really faultless. I couldn't fault it.
Mm.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's really good when they get the sound so good that like even if it's really loud, you don't really feel it so loud, but it's just like pumping and it's like it's super
I mean,
comfortable.
you said you don't know big sound systems, but you do. It's when you go to a place and you listen to it, and it draws you in, and you have this reproduction of sound that makes your jaw drop. Then you know it. And then, and inversely, if you go to a big party or festival and you stand in front of it and you say, well, it doesn't sound nice to me, or this is not exciting, or this is hurting my ears, or it's a completely subjective thing.
Yeah. No, but good sound is good sound, no? Like and it's usually it's quite objective to me like when something sounds
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
I was a complete geek in Adana, because that's the the sound system that I love and the concept that I love. But a lot of a lot of my friends, well, not a lot, but they were in that group of artists, of 20 artists, a couple of people who very, very clearly said, I do not like this sound system.
Oh, wow.
I don't like sounds. So again, very subjective.
Yeah, you're right. Totally. But, you know, when it sounds bad, it definitely sounds bad. That's for sure.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah, I've been on those too. Sulik is saying there's a bunch of Dutch guys going around with a mixed rig. Big focal horns and F function 1 bass. Also a sleeper rig. What's a sleeper rig?
I wasn't reading the chat here. One sec. Let me see here.
What is a sleeper rig?
A mixed rig. Big focal horns and F here. And a sleeper rig. Well, what is a sleeper rig?
Looks like nothing. It's like, is the sound guy sleeping under the rig? It's one of those cabinets that is turned off and, you know, someone can just like go inside for the cold of the night. You know, like Liquid Ross would do on every party.
Oh, Jesus. Sleeping anywhere.
That would be me. Okay, so we got another track from Macaulay now. Like, let's get on with it because we might be a little bit tight on time. Let's do this, man. But it's been really interesting talk about the speakers. But okay, let's do this.
We've been eating out like crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's off to Jiggly Wigglies with you.
Linda, what are you selling today?
How about this shaker baby?
A shaker baby?
It tell you the truth. Shaker baby.
not good. But damn, that boy got some big old jiggly wigglies.
Cool, and we're back. Killer, really nice.
Cool track.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool. Killer. Really nice.
Yeah.
I can hear how echoey my voice sounds compared to yours. I'm totally don't have any streaming setup. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's especially because of your phone, but also, I mean, I am surrounded by treatment, and like it's.
Well, I got treatment in here too, but also I put the phone a bit further away. There we go.
No, yeah, but this, I mean, I have like a ridiculous amount of treatment. I have like a meter of bass traps behind my speakers and like big bass traps behind there as well. Like everything is super treated.
I cut up. There was a whole lot of old furniture in this house when I moved in. So to create absorption, I just cut it up and bolted it onto the walls behind the speakers.
Yeah. But what can you recommend some like treatment or what have you been using there over there?
I recommend I mean, just rock wool and fiberglass. Rock wool and fiberglass in the bag still is a really good way of building up mass. You know, absorbative mass. Like not taking it out the bale, just using those bales to build up in the room. That's pretty cool.
That's like for floor insulation is good too. He says, bit denser. Egg boxes. Come on, man.
I'm gonna build a new studio, hopefully soon in a new house.
Oh, really?
Mm.
What, like you're moving out from your house, or you're just making a studio there?
Well, it's not it's all up in the air still, but hopefully there's a really nice place that it's going to be a studio. Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool.
And my dream is to build some really nice furniture, to spend some time on the treatment, the design, the construction. I mean, I'm really embarrassed to go on the stream with you in this room because the walls are all torn apart and you know it looks bad. The floor hasn't been treated and it's not professional. Even though I'm making better music than I made in the proper studio when I was in Spain, I think the music is better now. But yeah, in the future studio, I want to have like main monitors, and I want it to look like the fucking Death Star, and you know, I've got to do it. I've got to do it.
Yeah, no, it's really got to be done, man. I really want a couple of like proper main monitors, like something like three-way as well. Like that will be my next thing, unless I completely go wild and I buy another compressor, which I kind of want one. But I want to create. I really want to make my own main monitors using a DSP unit in every. I mean, using a DSP unit in every cabinet, which is so wonderfully usable and user friendly, and also. Yeah, I mean, like, have you seen these baffle-less speakers that people are making with enough amplification and enough units, and with those DSPs? I think you can create a amazing sound. Well, baffle-less. What do you mean baffle? Like,
there's no cabinet. There's no box around it. There's just like you just need really a lot of amplification and big drivers.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
And then you know, you don't the focus would shift from very, very specific construction of your case into really, really, really careful calibration and tweaking of the DSP units.
Yeah, no, this is and they could be like basically tuned to your room. I've seen like people like these guys PMC or like Focal. These guys like they are doing this like for certain studios that they just mount the actual speakers on the studio, like on the fucking wall, or like just like
I
that.
was always amazed by in South Africa. There's a studio called BOP Studios, BOP,
Hmm.
in Johannesburg, and they had these huge flush mounted, like you mentioned. It's just a driver directly
Uh,
in the concrete with these huge wooden horns. And I always loved the idea of it. I imagine I never heard it in person, that studio, but that was to me like a wonderful listening environment.
Oh, must be amazing now that you like that. Well, you know, now that you really know what you're doing and what's like that shit is. It's like, wow, that must be really, really cool.
I want to release a whole lot of music that sounds good, that nobody can fault, because of my patchy history of releases. I want to release a whole lot of music that just sounds great and no one can fault, and everyone's happy. And then once I've done that, then, build a really beautiful sounding studio,
Uh,
and yeah,
Maybe,
put my feet up on the mixing desk.
yeah, break a
Like
few
a
faders.
boss.
Break a few faders with my feet. Yeah. Sounds good, man.
No, I really want it. I really think it's possible. And the price, like the price of two of I like Genelecs, and like those big ones, the coaxial ones,
Hmm.
the big ones. Plus, they have these intelligent subs, and I think you're looking at like $50,000 for a full system using that.
What?
Those subs are like $12,000 each
What?
or something, plus the actual monitors. And when I consider that price, my God, I want to try. I'm sure I can come up with something for a lot
Damn.
less. That's gonna
I didn't
sound not just as good, but
better.
it's gonna sound okay. I'm interested. I'm really, really interested.
Man, like I didn't know that it was so expensive, but I haven't seen those smart subs that you're talking about.
No one has, because they're so flipping expensive, and you need two of them. But it uses like a phase inversion to cancel, to using their SAM system. It uses a phase inversion going out behind the sub to cancel a lot of room
Wow.
noise.
Like this PSI phase correction, like room correction boxes.
PSI use they have like PA sub inversion. They have another company, I think, also Swiss, called Rocket Boy or Rocket Dog or Rocket Science, I don't know. And they have these huge subs that you mount around the venue, to outdoors or indoors, to remove that rumble,
Yeah.
which is a wonderful idea, and something that I think could be used in Japan a lot, where it's very high density.
Mm. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Like these guys PSI, they have this for the studio. It's called the AAX or AVX or something.
Yeah, it's the same concept, and also that same thing that's employed by Genelec, same idea. I'm just going on their site
What's the name?
to find that thing that I'm talking about here. The
Oh, look at that.
ones.
Open baffle
And
speakers.
there it is. It's a W371A Sam woofer system.
W371A. That's from
W71A, and you need two of them, and then
Genelec.
your coaxial SAMs sit. I mean, the coaxial monitors sit on top of that.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, let me look at the price here. $9,000 a piece.
Oh yeah, it's cheap.
Okay, so let's say $17,000 for
Just for the
two
subs.
crazy subs plus the big coaxial Genelecs.
Shit.
Holy crap! That is looking, no exaggeration. You're looking at around $30,000 or
That's
something.
crazy still, like for a sound system, like, but
Jesus Christ!
it's the last sound system you will ever need.
I don't know.
Maybe in a few years you want a bigger one or a better one.
But look, you know, what I'm trying to say is, like, because we've been geeking out for, when you calibrate your studio, when you design sound treatment, I'm gonna turn around this, looks a bit better. When you design sound treatment for your room, and then when you calibrate speakers, what you're essentially doing is creating an inverse of a speaker. You know, you're using all the concepts that you use are the same as a speaker, designing a speaker.
No, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's so much technology right now that sometimes you don't even know where to turn, because it's like some people are like, oh, I don't want DSPs, I just want like an analog signal path, and some people are like, no, I need the DSPs because like they're gonna sort my sound out like in my studio without like. It's crazy, man. Oh.
Well, when we use something like SonarWorks or the Genelec system or Trinov,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's digital and very, very, you know, it is the opposite of like as an analog signal path. But
Yeah.
my God, if you asked me to do what SonarWorks does using little capacitors and MOSFETs, and fucking hell,
No, it's crazy.
I mean, you could make it, but it's not feasible for us.
No, it's pretty impossible, man. Like I think
that is the skill of those Danley speakers we spoke about earlier, because they have all these drivers. I don't know how many in one unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10, 20 drivers on some of the newer things.
Jesus.
And it's all completely passive crossover. There's no DSP inside. That's genius. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really, really, really incredible, man.
Really, I don't know how the phase, I mean the time delay, I mean how they change the delay between those drivers. I know how to do it easily with a digital, with something digital
To phase it.
But how do you do it? How do you do it? In the problem of doing that with passively is incredible, is amazing. Black magic.
And also like having them like really almost zero delay, because of that also, it's like, wow, it's impressive, no?
Yeah, it's fucking impressive. Those guys know what they're doing. Wow. And yeah, compared to what shit other sound system manufacturers are doing, and the level of fucking blaseness. I mean, I sound like a sales rep for Danley, but I'm genuinely impressed by what they do compared to other. So, if you've got an X amount of money and you want to buy a sound system,
Danley,
yeah, what you could buy and what many people do buy is it's very different.
Yeah. No, I think like a lot of people are like on the hype of like what's his name, Barefoot, and because they're super flashy. Danley, to be honest, even that I've seen about speakers.
I meant for sound systems, not monitors, but actually they have just made a monitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, also it's like, what if you talk about sound systems, like a lot of people also go to the hype of like Function One and all that shit, because they're the popular ones now. But
I really dislike void acoustics. I've really got a problem with those plastic horns.
Yeah.
I really dislike them. And you mentioned like when you did damage to your hearing. I've been on many occasions, those damn fucking those horns, those void plasticky things have really, really fried my brain. a lot on more than one occasion, indoors, outdoors.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's very personal. I don't want to slag off the company.
No, I think it's fine. Like, it's a good percept. Like, you've played on plenty of voids to know. Like, I've played on like 3, I think, in all my life, and only once, it was really, really well tuned. It was in Ibiza in this club, but you know, outside it didn't sound so good. But in the DJ booth, wow, what a sound, dude! That was amazing. I was like blasting and everything, and there outside, which is like not enough people.
It's upsetting when the sound is better in the booth than it is on the main rig.
It's really upsetting. Like, it's like, oh, come on here. Like, you should listen to it here with me. You know, like, shit.
You know, one of the most embarrassing gig experiences I had was in Mexico City a few years ago. And they turned off the rig in the club, but they left I had control over the monitors in the booth, and I was partying and loving it and giving full energy, and I noticed that everyone kind of stopped dancing, but it's because the sound system was off. I felt like a real idiot. I felt like a complete wreck.
But you don't like, well, to me, I think that's okay because, you know, like that's fair enough that you don't really notice. I think only once when I was just DJing before I was like playing live, I took out the wrong, like I was playing with three decks, and like I took out the wrong CD. Like, yeah, that was probably the worst for me.
And you're like, and there you go.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, embarrassing DJ fuck ups. My God, there are a lot.
So, what do you think of VCV Rack 2 VST version?
VS?
You know,
I'm not looking at the chat. Second.
You know VCV Rack, this modular system that is like it's just a modular on your computer.
Me personally?
Do you know it? Have you used it?
I mean, if you want to spend the time and build all these crazy things, I mean, Reactor did this. Wow, looks dope.
VCV.
I would choose for a real modular any day.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
It's a lot of buttons and a lot of cables. I can barely create a sound in Serum, so this is slightly my synthesis isn't nearly as good as this.
Yeah, mine neither, to be honest. I don't really. I mean, I know more or less where to start, like, but it just is as you said. You know, if you have the time, it's kind of like it's fun. And also, I think if you want to go into modular, this is my opinion, Gar. It's like if you want to go into modular, this is a good place to start because like there is most of the modules are there, you know, and then you know their functionality. They know you know what they're doing.
You can save the whole thing. You can save it.
Yeah, exactly. You can save your patches. This is really, really a good thing.
Yeah, it looks lovely, and to have it all on your computer, but yeah, I mean, look, there's some people who are really good at creating sounds and doing synthesis, and there's other people that are really good at arranging those sounds into a track, and you know, there's some people that can do both, and that's amazing. And we all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no better or worse, or you know, like. But if you want to get into modular synthesis, man, I think it's a really good place to start.
I would take a VST over. I would take something virtual over a gigantic, expensive wall of flashing knobs. But that's just me. I don't believe. I mean, I don't believe that an analog model of any piece of hardware is inferior to the real thing.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, sure, having the real signal, you know, going through your custom-made limiter or compressor is wonderful and real, but the digital representation or modeling of that same thing is good enough for me.
Yeah, no, it's good enough. Also, it's all your stuff is as good as your converters. You know what I mean? So if you have like a really cool digital setup and you know, like inside the box, is like you don't, even though like maybe you don't have the best converters, but the signal is not going to be broken
If
and
the
jitter.
signal never leaves the if it never leaves the box, then it's okay. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I think, but when you're leaving already the box, like if you want to like, you know, like go through like this like stuff that I have or whatever, like you really do need like a good clock and a good converter and this kind of stuff to really make it sound as it should. You know, if not, you're just like deteriorating the signal every step of the way.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. So
Also, yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, that's why I have these Genelecs, because the signal, it's a digital input. It's AES EBU and sounds great. And
oh wow.
there is no analog connection or signal at all anywhere. It's great.
Oh wow. They have the converters in the speakers. Wow, I didn't know that.
They have it. I don't know whether it's in. I mean, it's an AES EBU input
Yeah.
into the speaker.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But most speakers, modern monitors have that now. You know,
I guess so.
I think.
Yeah, I have old ones like my PMCs. They're even passive. You know, like my amp is right here. My speakers are on
But
the
that's
wall.
a different concept. That's like a completely analog concept.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it depends, no? Like, I do have good converters, though, like outside of the box. Like, I have one good converter for monitoring, one good converter for the in and out for the mastering, and I have like my RME, which is like not so good, but is good for interfacing. So, yeah, but
I don't know. I would have to sit down and I don't know whether I could hear the difference between an RME unit and some mega expensive esoteric converter. I really don't know.
esoteric. No, you can, definitely
I
you can.
don't know if I could hear it.
Oh,
I really don't.
I could hear from when I changed my monitoring from the RME to the dangerous. Wow, I could hear a big difference. And then when I changed my conversion and my clocking from this little Black Lion audio clock and the conversion from the actual RME input to the Crane song, wow, that made a big difference. Like just translates.
I would want to
better.
hear the two next to each other. I'd really want to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt you, but I'm interested to hear. You know,
It could be also big placebo effect. It could be big placebo because you know, like you spend a lot of money into it, so you're like,
but
oh
that's
yeah,
why I want to hear the two things
yeah, yeah. No,
together.
that's a good point.
But I don't think it's placebo effect at all. Totally.
It's like Joe, he's still using the old Mackie 824s, but measured my room with Sonarworks. Seems flattish. That's all right. We're all doing amateur noodlings, to be honest. If we're doing noodling, it's, you know, there you don't really need
I want to go
much.
back to the chat. I haven't been following the chat. One sec.
Oh, don't worry. Good stereo field analyzer. Stereo field analyzer, like this RME thing that I'm this gniometer that, or what do you mean, Gar?
You talking to me or someone on the chat?
No, to someone
Sorry.
on the chat. Yeah, he's like.
Okay, I was going back to the chat now on Twitch.
No, yeah, he's asking if we know a good stereo field analyzer, but I mean for output or like for actually measuring your room.
Stereo field analyzer. It's not necessary. You need something like Sonarworks. You need a room calibration kit.
Room calibration is the name.
You don't need a stereo field thingamabob.
Yeah, the thing is like a stereo field analyzer is like what I'm showing you right here. It's this thing right here. This is it's called a gniometer, and that's a stereo field analyzer for your output. Like so you will see what's going like on the sides and what's going in mono. And like that's your left and right, that's your panning. And this is a stereo field analyzer, what I would say that's it. And but yeah, what you actually I think what you mean. It's a room calibration setup. And
Well, I
Trinov,
mean, calibrated your room, you could take another rig and you could play sounds in mono. You could play a mono signal in different frequencies, and you could record that into your system, and you could look at how, using maybe something as close to a binaural or human hearing setup, and then see, like, if you're playing a mono signal through your rig, I mean, through your monitoring system, and suddenly there's a whole lot of stereo echo, then yeah, something's going wrong.
yeah.
But yeah,
But you can definitely find that with Trinov or with something like that. The Trinov has really really good microphone thingy. Like I think it has 4 or 5 different microphones to like get really everything around. I think that's one of the best calibration things that
it
you
is
can
the
get.
best. Down, hands down. The marketing guy or the sales guy, I always thought was Russian, but they are French,
Yeah.
and yeah, they've offered to send me a unit to demo the units, but I haven't had a proper studio. It would be a joke to come do it in here. Once I have the proper studio, pretty sure we'll end up with Trinov calibration.
Yeah, I'd really like to try it right here, but also, I mean, I don't really have like all contact with the guy, and but yeah, I would really like to try. But it's one of those things on the to-do list, and then it's like, okay, I've been in this studio for about 10 years with more or less the same response, so I kind of know it already. But I also
Exactly.
I know that it's flawed though. Like I know that there is like some things that I can't really hear. And
Let me show you the response of my studio. That I 1 second, maybe I have it here. 1 second. Because I was very, very proud of what I did with not much money and just time. But there's no get. You can't see. I'm looking for a screenshot that's got the graph on the left of it, on the right of it, but you can't really see it. Give me a sec.
yeah, I think
Sorry
my studio.
to
If you see the frequency response of my studio, it's like probably like plus minus 4, like well, I mean like 8 in total decibels, like from the peaks to the valleys, which is not too bad.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, but it's I mean, but I don't have any room calibration or anything.
Should go for it.
I don't know because I'm so used to this, and then like I've tried like 3 of them. I tried SonarWorks. I tried some of them before.
I don't like the way SonarWorks will try boost in areas where they're nulls. I think that's a bad idea, and I agree with Genelec that it's going to make cuts where there's boosts, but it's no way going to boost where things are dropping off, because that is creating a lot of problems for the speaker.
Yeah,
physically.
I think so too. Yeah, it just feels phasey, super phasey to have those like big.
Yeah, it's red.
Yeah, it's really bad. Oh wow, we've been 2.5 hours already. Nice.
Eek out like crazy.
Yeah, man, it's been really good this time. Like, I have stereo tool, you know that. What do you mean stereo tool? That was meant for GAR.
On face.
Yalla. Yeah, man. So yeah, I've got loads of good notes about all this stuff we've been talking about. This has been really, really interesting.
Where's I'm just looking for your, what's your name again?
Oh, here in the chat, Tronald McDonald.
No, I'm gonna send you a screenshot on your messenger.
Oh, okay,
Jeez, not
Patricio Tron, man.
yeah. I'm just suddenly run out of screen.
Okay, cool. Wait,
Green.
I'm there.
Copy. Suddenly the way I've been looking at it.
I ran out of screen.
Yeah. Where's the copy? Jesus. Annoying. There. Jesus. Kicking bricks. So anyway, I sent you an image in Facebook Messenger.
I'm waiting for it. Oh, there you go. That's it.
So anyway, there's no that you can't see like how big the graph has been cut off, but it's about like also 3 dB the troughs. I mean the boosted areas, the highest point is about 3 dB if you can put it on the.
Yeah, that's there.
So I'm very, very happy. That's very flat, and
yeah,
that's
very good.
That's done with things like sofas chopped up into blocks and just bolted on into the walls, and bales of fiberglass and stuff, and just basically moving until you get. So basically, the red was the original curve.
Yeah.
Of the room, and then the blue is the amount of cuts that are being made by the SAM system, and the green is the actual response, the corrected response.
Yeah, that's really good, man.
So there's that. You can see it's dropping out around 1,000. Oh, I can't see it here.
Yeah,
you can see there's a drop off at 1,000 in the middle where it says text TV box on speaker stool.
Yeah,
there's like a -3 dip there. That's around 1,000 hertz, I reckon, or 100, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 500 hertz.
500.
Which is fine by me. And yeah, so that just shows, like, with time and fucking around, what you can do.
Yeah, man. Especially it's like I feel it's like speaker placement and listening spot is like the two biggest things that you can do about like your sound stage kind of thing. And then after that, like you say, just fiddling around, like moving this here, moving this there, like just actually nailing the modes where they are with the treatment. That makes a
and just taking
difference.
The time.
Yeah.
Taking the time, making a. Let me just put the phone down. It's so heavy. So
nice.
Making a measurement, taking a screenshot, and then doing it again, and doing it again, and doing it again, and again, and again, and again.
Yeah, that really. You have a. What microphone are you using? The one from SonarWorks, or you have like a.
The Genelec system.
The
Genelec mic. Genelec.
Oh, your Genelecs have a mic. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get some room correction for my stuff. I really don't. I really haven't gone to. But your corrections are only dips, and it's no phase correction, right? It's only spectrum.
There is phase correction that the system does. Yeah. There's they call it time of flight or something like.
Okay. Time of flight. Yeah, well, that's. I really gotta get into that, but I think we're kind of running out of time now. I'm.
Awesome chatting with you, bro. It was, and all the guys on the chat and the tracks. Was mega good time. Was mega geek out time.
Yeah. No, this has been one of the most productive, podcasts that we had because we're really geeking out and you really know your shit. And I really appreciate that you're here, man. Thank you very much for joining us this time.
It was great to chat with everybody, and let's make some music.
Yeah, man. We got a track on the go. Like we got a track going, Vanna and I, and eventually it's gonna get finished. I hope.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's get on with it. But yeah, man, thank you. Oh.
I'm gonna work one track a day on all of these collabs. Each day a different track.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Also, it keeps things fresh for you to like, oh, now this track, oh, this is nice sound, you know, and like the next day is like another one, and you just get like a little bit more excited. It's really good. I also like if you won't see it, but if you see the stream, like I'll show you the list of my collabs that I'm like that's my list of collabs that I'm doing. Like you probably can't see anything, but it's a long fucking list.
Jesus Christ, got to get on it. We got to finish these tracks.
yeah, it's a long list, like 20 tracks or something. It's crazy.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, really thank you, and thank to everyone that has joined us from, well, especially from Europe. So this is pretty late. So really thanks, and yeah, man, I hope we can run this back at some point. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yalla.
Ciao,
man.
guys.
See you guys. See you next week or at some point. Yeah. Yalla.